If you're wondering where I got these from, I got them from the Dollar Tree. They do light up, but these are old, so the light is running down. I gotta put a new battery, or I'm just gonna buy another pair from the Dollar Tree. They usually stock on around after Halloween for anybody that is interested. Should I say the $1.25 store? I am drinking some warm tea. So I hope you guys are ready for some more stories. Get comfy. Sit back, sit back, sit back, relax. And let's get started. Here's a nail cam. Excuse my hands, I was washing dishes. A little pre-winter energy. These are the covers from the last books we read. There may be some background noise because I was lazy and waited until 6 o'clock in the morning to record. Please forgive me. So what are we on? Day 5? A day with Moana. The morning sun rose high over Motunui as Moana headed through the village. Good morning, Moana said, approaching 2 women with baskets of food. How are things? Hi, Moana. It's a fine day, but we are low on sugarcane and won't have enough for what we're making. I can help, Moana volunteered. I'll gather some more for you. You can see it better like that. She's so pretty. Moana and a group of children from the village set off to find more sugarcane. The forest was full of giant trees, colorful plants, and rocks and boulders in all sizes. Without any clear paths to walk along, it was obvious why Moana had told the children to stick together. Moana looked for visual signs to help find her way. See that rock over there? Looks like a pig. Like Puna. Or Pua. My bad, Pua. Moana said the kids loved Pua and could picture him as if he were right there. It does look like a pig, or when you first glance at it, it kind of looked like a some kind of bear. But then you look at the nose. Moana pulled aside some thick green vines, revealing a large grove of coconut trees. Can we stop for a snack? That's just what I was thinking, Moana replied. Lumiere and Toe scrambled up a tree. They picked the ripest fruits, then tossed them down. After they broke open the coconuts against the rock, they devoured the white meat and drank the sweetest water inside. It was a refreshing break. Am I the only one that does since they'd reached the coconut grove sooner than Moana had expected. She figured a quick game wouldn't hurt. How about a round of hide and seek? She asked. Yes, the children exclaimed. They scattered in every direction, but stay close by, Moana called after them. She shut her eyes and began to count. While he was looking for a place to hide, Toa saw a colorful bird he'd never seen before. He began to follow the bird. Time's up, Moana yelled. She opened her eyes and began to look for the children. In a matter of minutes, Moana had found Fatua, Lome, and Masina. That meant only Toa was left, but no matter where she looked, Moana couldn't find him. Good job, Toa. You found the best hiding spot. You can come out now, Moana said. When he didn't appear, Moana was worried he was lost. Meanwhile, Toa had followed the colorful bird all the way back to its nest. He turned around to show his friends, but realized he was all alone. He started to worry, but he remembered what Moana had said earlier, and he sat down and waited for her to find him. The other children went back through the vines toward the pua-shaped rock. It was there that Moana noticed some bright blue feathers. Maybe he went up this way, she said. Then they picked up the feathers and continued walking. Not far away, they came upon another clearing, and there was someone familiar sitting on the rock. Toa, Fatua cried as Moana hugged him. They were relieved to see he was safe and sound. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't mean to go off so far. I was following that bird, and it ended up here. He pointed to a nest in a tree. Moana looked up to see the bird with several baby chicks. Toa had stumbled upon Mother Bird as she was returning to her family. Well, it looks like everyone is back together again, Moana said, smiling. It's a pretty bird. Look over there, directed Fatua. That's the tallest grass I've ever seen, added Masina. Moana followed the girls and couldn't believe her eyes. Thanks to their unexpected detour, they had found a shortcut to the sugarcane field. This is exactly what we're looking for, Moana cheered. She broke off pieces of sugarcane stalks and passed them to the children, who arranged them in piles. After gathering as much as their arms could carry, it was time to head home. Before we go, Moana said, let's create a sign to mark this new shortcut. They carved an outline of the bird into the ground with sticks. Finally, they stuck blue feathers they collected in the ground next to their new landmark. It was a perfect way to end their afternoon. Soon Moana and the children arrived back to the village. Moana gave the basket of sugarcane to the women, who were delighted to see the bright, juicy stalks. Thank you, Moana, one woman exclaimed. These are wonderful. It's our pleasure, Moana replied. As they said goodbye, Moana gave each child a hunky, pressing her nose against theirs. When I grow up, I want to be just like you, Toa said. Moana was touched as Grandma told 6. Moana. Make way, make way. Oh, she was so cute. Moana lived with her family on the island of Motunui. Her home was a beautiful place, surrounded by a coral reef, shimmering seas. Moana, Father Tui, was the chief of the island. Little Moana loved listening to Grandma Dalla's stories. Her favorite was about the heart of the mother island, Te Fiti, which was stolen by a demigod named Maui. As Maui escaped, the demon Takai attacked him, and the heart was lost in the ocean. But one day, added Grandma Dalla, the heart will be found by someone who will find Maui, restore Te Fiti's heart, and save us all. Later, Moana was following a trail of shells along the shore when the ocean magically parted, offering her a small stone with a spiral on it. Moana reached out and grasped the stone. Just then, Chief Tui arrived. The ocean quickly whisked Moana back to the shore and dropped the stone as Tui took back to the village. She's so cute. The years passed. When Moana was 16 years old, her father took her to the island's highest mountain. One day, said Tui, "You will be the next chief of Motunui." Moana wanted to make her father proud, but she was wondering what might be out there beyond the reef. Grandma Dalla took Moana to a secret cave. Inside, Moana gasped in amazement. It was filled with sailing boats, which had belonged to her ancestors. They had been voyagers. Grandma Dalla told Moana the great darkness made the ocean too dangerous to sail, and so her ancestors forbade voyaging. Showing Moana the spiral stone she had dropped years before, she told Moana to find Maui and restore the heart of Te Fiti. Not long afterward, Grandma Dalla became very sick. Within the last of her strength, she whispered to Moana, "Go." Moana knew she had to find Maui. As she sailed past the reef, a storm rose up and a giant wave crashed on top of her. Everything went black. When Moana finally woke up, she was on a strange island. Moana heard someone approaching. It was Maui. She wanted him to come to her, restore Te Fiti's heart, but Maui refused. He wanted to find a magical fish hook he had lost, which gave him power to shapeshift into different animals. Maui threw Moana into a dark cave and took her boat to search for his hook. Moana escaped from the cave and dove into the sea. Just as Maui set sail, the ocean pulled Moana through the water and put her on the boat with Maui. "You will give back the heart," Moana said in her bravest voice, but Maui still refused to help her. Moana and Maui agreed, and finally Maui agreed to go with her to get the heart. But first he insisted he would need his hook. Tamatoa was a giant crab who lived in Lalapto. set off. They arrived in a dark cavern. Moana saw the hook and the terrifying Tomatawa. Thinking quickly, Moana threw the shiny heart of Tafiti toward Tomatawa, who scrambled to grab the treasure. Then Moana opened her hand to reveal the real heart. The giant crab had been tricked. Maui grabbed the hook, and he and Moana escaped. Yeah, that was a tongue twister. Maui and Moana gets tongue-tied. Oh, wow. Using the hook, Maui transformed himself into a hawk, and the pair traveled to Tafiti. As they approached the island, Taka appeared and knocked Maui from the sky. Moana caught him just as Tafiti's fist slammed down to crush their boat. At the last second, Maui raised his hook and took his hook to block Tafiti's or Taka's fist. I'm all tongue-tied. A huge tidal wave swept Moana, Maui, and the boat far away from Tafiti. Moana wanted to go back, but Maui's hook was badly damaged. Without my hook, I am nothing, said Maui. He turned back into a hawk and flew away. With tears in her eyes, Moana held the heart of Tafiti out to the ocean. The ocean reached up and took the spiral stone back beneath the surface. The spirit of Grammatella appeared along with hundreds of ghostly canals filled with Moana's ancestors. Grammatella asked, "Do you know who you are?" Moana realized that returning the heart was her destiny. She dove into the ocean and retrieved the glowing spiral stone from the seabed. Back on her boat, Moana headed back to Tafiti. Taka was determined to stop Moana and raised its fist, but just before it could strike Hawk, Maui flew out of nowhere to take the blow. While Maui and Taka fought, Moana reached Tafiti, but instead of the island, she found an empty crater. The mother island had vanished. Not knowing what else to do, Moana began to sing that ancient song of her ancestors. "Know who you are," Moana chanted. Suddenly, Taka swooped down in front of Moana bravely. She pressed her forehead to Taka's and placed the heart into a glowing lava spiral on the demon's chest. Slowly, Tafiti emerged from the flames with a glowing spiral on her chest and a crown of flowers on her head. The mother island opened her hand to reveal Maui's hook. It was fixed. The island came back to life at last. Back on the boat, Maui prepared to leave. "You could come with us back to Motunui," Moana offered. "My people will need a master wayfinder." Maui smiled at Moana. "They already have one," he said. The two friends hugged goodbye. Then Maui's shape shifted into a hawk and flew away. Back on Motunui, everyone was overjoyed when Moana appeared on the horizon. The young girl finally knew who she was. sure she obeyed him, King Triton ordered Ariel's music teacher, Sebastian, to keep an eye on her, but it wasn't an easy task for the worried crab. One day, Sebastian followed Ariel and floundered to the surface to watch a ship. The crew were celebrating the birthday of a handsome prince named Eric, and Ariel watched them in delight. Some storm clouds gathered overhead, huge waves wrecked the ship, and Eric was flung into the sea. Ariel swam quickly to his rescue and pulled him toward the shore. "Look, he's breathing," cried Ariel. She gazed at Eric and fell in love. As she sang to him, his eyes began to open, but hearing a voice, Ariel slipped back into the water and hid behind a nearby rock. She watched as Eric's servant led him away. "I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing." When they were out of sight, Ariel swam home, vowing to be part of the human world one day. Sebastian had seen everything, and it was not long before the Sea King learned that Ariel was in love with a human. Triton was very angry. He stormed into her secret grotto and destroyed all her beloved human treasures. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know something's starting right now. Watch and you'll see. Someday I'll be part of your world. Ariel was heartbroken. Then two sly-looking eels called Flotsam and Jetsam appeared. "We know someone who can make it all your dreams come true," they hissed. "Ursula has great powers." The sea witch gasped Ariel. She knew that Ursula was her father's worst enemy and had been banished from his kingdom many years before. Thinking that it was her only chance to win Prince Eric's love, Ariel swam away with the evil eels. I love the animations. Ursula greeted Ariel gleefully. "In exchange for your voice, I will turn you into a human for 3 days," she said. "If Eric hasn't given you a kiss, true love, in that time, you will become a mermaid again and belong to me forever." A scroll appeared in Ursula's hand. She urged Ariel to sign it. Ariel was terrified, but she signed anyways, thinking of Eric. A moment later, she was walking on the seashore, a human at last. Don't underestimate the body language. I liked Ursula. Prince Eric had been searching everywhere for the girl with the beautiful voice who had rescued him. He had almost given up hope finding her when he noticed someone sitting on a rock. This girl looked familiar, but when he found she couldn't speak, Eric realized she wasn't the one. Feeling sorry for the voiceless girl, he led her back to the palace. The next day, Eric took Ariel on a tour of his kingdom. They enjoyed being together, and Ariel was sure the prince was falling in love with her. Later that afternoon, a little boat on the lake, Eric leaned forward and to kiss Ariel, but at that very moment, the boat was overturned. The sea witch had been watching them, and fearing her plan was about to fail, she sent her precious eels to take action. Bitch. Ursula disguised herself as a human woman with Ariel's voice trapped in a seashell necklace. She made her way to the shore. She told Prince Eric her name was Vanessa and soon had him under her spell. Eric led Vanessa to the palace and announced that they were to be married the following day. The wedding ship was to depart at sunset. Ariel and her friends watched in despair as the sun lowered in the sky. Bad bitch. But Scuttle discovered who Vanessa really was and called all the sea creatures to stop the wedding. Sebastian went to find Sea King, and Flounder helped Ariel get to the wedding ship. Seabird swooped down on Vanessa's hair. A lobster pinched her nose, and dolphins sprayed her with water. In the chaos, Vanessa's necklace broke, and the beautiful voice inside flew back to the rightful owner. Released from the spell, Eric took Ariel in his arms. Just as he was about to kiss her, the sun sank below the horizon. Ariel was at once turned back into a mermaid. Ursula grabbed her and dove into the water. Her evil cackle echoed around the ship. Ursula, stop! thundered King Triton, rearing up in front of the sea witch. Let her go. If we could get a behind the scenes, or not behind the scenes, but like a backstory on Ursula, like how they do the other villains, that would be fire. No, cried Ursula, she's mine now. You see, we made a deal. However, I might be willing to make an exchange for someone even better, she suggested. Triton felt he had no choice. He changed the signature on the scroll to his own and handed over his magic trident to the sea witch. At last, Ursula cackled. I'm the ruler of the ocean. Just then, sharp pain shot through her arm. Eric had speared her with a harpoon. The sea witch swelled with anger and towered above them. She summoned all the sea's power and stirred up a giant whirlpool, dragging up ancient shipwrecks from the seabed. Eric scrambled aboard one of the decks and reached the ship's steering wheel. Using all his might, he aimed the broken bow directly at Ursula. With a terrible scream, she disappeared under the sea. Triton's power was restored. He rose to the surface and saw Ariel gazing lovingly at Eric. She really does love him, Trident murmured to Sebastian. I suppose the only problem left is how will I miss her. Then, with a flourish of his trident, the Sea King granted Ariel her dearest wish, to be human forever. Overjoyed, Eric and Ariel rushed into each other's arms. Ariel and Eric were married, and all of their friends were invited to the wedding. King Triton gladly gave the couple his blessings, knowing they would live happily ever after. That was day 7. Now for today's. Oh, I'm getting excited. The next book's probably gonna be you know who. But this is an amazing team. Aurora loved being princess, but after spending so many years in a quiet cottage, her life at a castle was often a bit overwhelming. his horse. His horse was very sassy. It reminded me of like Maximus from Tangled. The prince is traveling, so the horse won't get to compete in the joust. The stable hand said, "It seems like we both could use some fresh air." Aurora said to Samson, "I'd like to take you somewhere special." But it was an awkward ride into town. Samson and Aurora had trouble finding a rhythm. Eventually they reached the village. It was bustling with people. Just then Aurora had an idea. "What if we compete in joust together?" she whispered to Samson. Samson was overjoyed. He immediately raced to the field where he and Philip used to practice. "You are amazing," Aurora exclaimed. "This is where I'm going to learn how to joust," Samson whined in reply. In the joust, Aurora would have to tread a series of rings onto her lance, gallop down a stairway, and disarm the knight pitted against her. On the night before the tournament, Aurora revealed her plan to her parents. "Since Philip won't be present for the joust tomorrow, I'd like to compete in his place." After a brief silence, her mother spoke. You are a new kind of princess," she said. "It would be our honor to have you participate." The sun rose early the next morning. The townspeople gathered around the jousting arena, excitedly waving flags and banners. Aurora and Samson took their place amongst the competitors, their hearts raised as they surveyed the scene. "No matter what happens," Aurora whispered to Samson, "we are a team." All of a sudden, their names were announced. Time to compete. Samson took off. Aurora lifted her lance and put it through all the rings on their path. Aurora and Samson changed to their opponent, the valiant Sir Casper from the kingdom of Blumenfield. Now Aurora needed to disarm Sir Casper, but their weapons kept getting locked. She had to try a different tactic. While Aurora was thinking of a new plan, Sir Casper sent her lance flying through the air. With the weapon gone, Aurora and Samson were defeated. At least they tried. At the end of the day, the winners were announced. Aurora and Samson ended up in fourth. "Not bad for our first tournament," Aurora said with a wink. She and Samson made an amazing team. Alright, my sunflowers. That is it for this week, or this 4 days that we had to catch up on. And they were all amazing. Oh my god.